Hello, I'm Sunny, and in today's video, I'll be showing you how I do my drawings. Grab a pen or a pencil, a piece of paper or a tablet, and join me as I walk you through my drawing process. Here, I'll be using my iPad, and I have these 3 references picked out already. Feel free to use them or pause the video and find your own references. I'll start with this one here. I'll always begin my sketch by laying down the overall shape without worrying about the finer details. I start with the head and base the rest of the body off of that. I usually try to only spend 5 to 10 minutes on this, and I make sure to use a light hand. With my sketches, I always use this bluish grayish color because I remember watching a YouTube video that recommended using blue or red for sketching. I tried it and somehow my brain convinced me that it really helped with my drawings, so now I use it all the time, but really I will recommend that you try it out as well. Once I finish the sketch, I lower the opacity and create a new layer. This is where I take my time to start defining the details and making sure the proportions and placements make sense. I'll simplify the lines and make any necessary adjustment. You don't always have to follow the sketch, it is solely just there as guidelines, so make any changes you like. Coloring for me is still a work in progress, so I am just gonna keep it simple with black and white. And this drawing is done. Let's move on to the next one, which will be this one here. This one was a challenge for me as it had more details to keep track of, and the way the body was angled made it hard for me to get the proportions correct. I was stressed while I did this sketch, knowing that once I move on to the next layer, I'll probably end up in tears. I was having a hard time drawing the arms and the legs. The way I drew it just looked too awkward. It wasn't until my second try for me to get it to look decent enough for me to move on. I tried to avoid using the liquify tool too often, but for this drawing, it was literally my best friend as it helped me adjust the proportions without erasing the lines. I thought that this was the only difficult part about this drawing, but boy was I wrong. Since this photo didn't have a face for me to use as reference, I had a pretty tough time. I decided to have the face look forward and I just chose a random hairstyle. But the eyes were just not looking the way I wanted it to look. I originally wanted the eyes to look straight, but no matter how many times I draw it, it seems to be looking somewhere else, so I just made the eyes look to the side instead. I mean, I shouldn't have this much trouble with drawing faces since I draw it most of the time, but after struggling so much with the body, the face just felt just as difficult. This one took the longest, yet I am still not satisfied with the result, but we gotta move on. Last but not least, we have this one left to do. I was so relieved this reference photo was quite comfortable to draw. The baggy clothing means I don't have to worry about drawing the anatomy and just focus on the wrinkles and creases of the clothing. There are probably some tips and tricks to drawing baggy clothing, but I pretty much just follow the reference. I decided not to draw the hands, so I hid it in the pockets. It is probably not the brightest idea to do that, but I already did it, so let's move on. This reference photo didn't have a face as well, but I didn't struggle with it as much as I did the last drawing. I gave him a buzz cut and an eyebrow slit. I am not sure why I did that, but it turned out okay, and that's all we need. What I did struggle with was laying down the color as my Apple Pencil decided not to cooperate with me, and it kept glitching. I was about to lose my mind when it kept doing that. But finally, I finished and I was so proud. Here are the finished drawings. There is definitely room for improvements, and probably adding some color will bring life to the drawings. but it looks pretty good right now and I like how minimalistic it is. Since the last drawing left me on such a good note, I decided to do 2 more drawings. I am just gonna show you guys the speed paint without talking, so here it is. And there you have it, my drawing process. Despite the struggle, I had so much fun and I hope you did too. That's it for today's video and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!